Hey, what's up, big Operation iDroid here, and in this video, I'm going to be showing you how to randomize Pokemon X, Y, Omega Ruby, or Alpha Sapphire, as well as how to get the popular 6th generation Pokemon Neo X and Y ROM hacks. However, to do this, you will need to have a 3DS with access to Homebrew. If your 3DS is not homebrewed, you can check the description to see if there's a tutorial compatible with your 3DS firmware, as well as you need to make sure your 3DS SD card has at least 2 GB of space, or else you will not be able to do this. Finally, you'll also need access to a Windows computer or a Mac computer that can emulate Windows. With all that being said, I'm super excited to be showing you all how to do this, as it has been probably one of the most requested 3DS tutorials ever. If you all are excited as well, please hit that like button, as I tried my best to make this tutorial clear and easy to follow. Now, without any further ado, let's head into the tutorial. Alright, to begin, place your 3DS SD card into your computer, and go ahead and open it. These first few steps will be exactly the same whether you want to randomize your game or get a ROM hack, so make sure to follow them precisely. To begin, open your favorite web browser and paste in the URL the Smilon GitHub page linked in the description below. You want to go ahead and download the Homebrew Starter Kit, which many of you may already have. However, it has been updated to a 2.5 version that has new things that we need to replace. So if you have not done this yet, make sure to replace your boot.3dsxx file and put the themes file into the root of your SD card and simply hit replace. If it tells you, I've already done this, so I'm going to click stop, and then place all of these new folders that are here into your 3DS folder, except the theme hacks installer if you already have it. So you just want to add the new things, not replace them. So I'm not going to click replace since I already have them, and I'm going to click stop. So just add the new stuff that you do not have into your 3DS folder. Once you've done that, we now need to get the new ROB pin. So go back into your favorite web browser. We're going to go to the same Smilon GitHub page, and here where it says your 3DS version, you're going to put your 3DS version in, so whether it's old or new, and then simply put in exactly what your 3DS version is, and we're going to download the ROB pin. Once you have the ROB pin downloaded, you're going to find your menu hacks ROB pin payload in the root of your SD card and copy the name, everything before the .bin, and then you're going to rename the one you just downloaded to the same exact thing. Go back into the root of your SD card and delete the old ROB pin, and then once you do that, you can add the new one from your downloads into the root of your SD card. This is a very important step, and if you do not do this, this whole thing will not work. So make sure that you do it. Finally, we're going to head back into our favorite web browser and paste in the URL the ROM hack starter pack link, which is a Mediafire link, so go ahead and download it. It's a pretty hefty file, about 100 megabytes, so it will take some time. However, I did speed it up for the convenience of the video. Once it's done, you're going to go ahead and open the ROM hack starter pack folder, and you're going to get the brain dump folder that is in there, and you're going to put that brain dump folder into your 3DS folder in the SD card. So open the 3DS folder in your SD card and put the brain dump folder into that folder in your SD card. Once you've done that, we're done for the computer for now, and we're going to go ahead and eject our SD card and put it right back into our 3DS. Go ahead and turn on your 3DS and go into your Homebrew launcher and scroll all the way down till you'll see the new application called Brain Dump, which doesn't have an icon and it'll just be a question mark like so. Now, go ahead and open Brain Dump and make sure you have your copy of Omega Ruby or Alpha Sapphire, X or Y, whatever the case may be, in your 3DS, and you're going to go ahead and press A on it. Once you press A on it, it'll begin to download the actual game onto your SD card, which is extremely important. So if you want to randomize your game, then you just have to do this process, or if you want to get Neo X or Y, you need to make sure that you actually have an X or Y. So that's pretty much all it is. This process here will take a long time. I've sped it up for the convenience of this video, but it took me about an hour with my old 3DS, but I heard the newer your 3DS is, the faster it'll be, so expect it to take around an hour, and when it's done, it'll say press start to exit. So press start to exit, then you'll be at the Homebrew launcher, and then press start and A to reboot your device, and now we're going to take out the SD card from your 3DS and put it back into the computer. Here you'll see you have a new folder with a ton of random digits and letters. Here you'll have two files, the romfs.bin and exfs.bin file. Now, from here, I'm going to show you how to randomize your game, but if you'd like to learn how to get ROM hacks, you can skip ahead to where it says on screen to learn how to do that. So to actually randomize your game, you're going to go ahead and open your command prompt. So go into your search or your applications, however you know how to do it, and search CMD, which is your command prompt, and open that application. Once that application is open, make note of where your command prompt sends files to. As you can see, mine says it sends it to C user operation iDroid. So I'm going to go ahead and go to that location in my control panel. So I'm going to go to the ROM hack starter pack. Actually, first we need to go there, so make sure that you already have that downloaded on your computer. As you can see, I'm now on Windows, emulating it on my Mac. So I'm going to go to my downloads, I'm going to go to the ROM hack starter pack, and I'm going to look for the CR tool that is inside this ROM hack starter pack folder. And I'm going to move that CR tool folder, or simply copy it, which will be much easier in my opinion, and move it to where my command prompt is. Mine is at C user operation iDroid, yours may be different. So go ahead and copy that CR tool and go to where it says your command prompt is. So mine is in C user operation iDroid. So I'm going to go to C, then I'm going to go to user, I'm going to go to operation iDroid, and I'm going to paste the CR tool into that folder by simply right clicking and hitting paste. Now that that folder is there, we're going to go back into the ROM hack starter pack, and we're going to go to at first actually you're going to move the two files that we got from the folder that has the long string of numbers and paste it into the same place where you pasted your CR tool, which in my case is C user operation iDroid. Now these files are extremely big, so it will take some time. However, I did speed that up, and once those files are in the correct place, as you can see I'm placing them here, now we're going to go back into the ROM hack starter pack, and we're going to open the text file that has a command that we're going to put into the command prompt. So go back into your ROM hack starter pack, and then you'll see a text file. Go ahead and open that, and you're going to copy the first line. So just highlight it and right click to copy, and then you're going to right click on the command prompt and you're going to paste that there. So make sure that this stuff is in the right spot. If it's not there, then this will not work. So make sure those three files are where it says your command prompt is. In my case, it's C user operation iDroid, and then I'm gonna hit paste and the enter key. Once you hit enter, it'll give you a whole ton of stuff, and it's gonna take about 10 minutes for it to finish. And once it's done, you'll know it's done because it says C user operation iDroid or whatever your command prompt is. And then you're going to copy the second command that was in that same text file, paste it, and you're going to hit enter. This one should only take about a minute. And once that's done, we can continue. Of course, like I mentioned, I did speed this up, so this will take some time for you. If anything, you can just pause the video and continue when yours is done. So once we're done with this, we're going to get this file that is here. There's actually two files now that were put into C user operation iDroid. As you can see here, I just highlighted them. So we're going to make a new folder on our desktop, and we're going to name it randomizer. Doesn't really matter what you name it, you can name it whatever you like, but for organization purposes, I'm just going to name it randomizer. And I'm going to get these two folders that just appeared in the C user operation iDroid that I'm highlighting now and put them into this new randomizer folder that I made on my desktop. Now, once you do this, we can continue. So now that we have those files in our randomizer folder, we can go ahead and go back into the ROM hack starter pack. Once we're back in the ROM hack starter pack, you can of course close the command prompt because we won't be using that anymore. And we're going to go into the PK3DS file. And then it's going to ask you to extract it all or run. I recommend that you extract it all to make sure that you do not run into any problems, which will take some time. However, I have sped it up for your convenience. And then you're just going to, once you extract it all, it'll give you the same exact folder. Just open it up again and go into the PK3DS application and open it. This is the application that will allow you to randomize your game. Once you open the PK3DS application, it'll look like so, and you're going to go into File. You're going to hit Open, and you're going to open the randomizer folder that we just made, or whatever you named it. You want to open that folder, not what's inside the folders. You want to open the folder. So click on the folder, hit OK, and then as you can see, it'll say hit yes for Omega Ruby or Alpha Sapphire, hit no for X or Y, and then just click whichever one it pertains to you. In my case, I'm doing Omega Ruby, so I'm going to hit yes. Once you open the application, you'll see this green bar. Wait for it to finish loading, and then you can continue. Now, something I want to mention is that you cannot randomize the starters. Do not try to randomize the starters because it will happen. However, it will crash your game once you try to play it. So do not randomize the starters, or you'll probably ruin everything. So don't do that. But what you can randomize is the wild encounters. So you can go ahead and click on wild encounters, and you can manually randomize it if you want to, but there's a whole lot of encounters in Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire X and Y, so I recommend you just click the randomize all button and let it just randomize it for you, and you won't really be able to tell what Pokemon are in each location unless you literally look yourself. However, if you want to keep it a surprise, which is the fun of a randomizer, then I recommend that you just hit randomize all and just exit the window so you don't see any of the Pokemon that are now randomized in your game. As always, once you're done, wait for the green bar to completely load. Next, you can also randomize the trainers Pokemon. Now, this will take a whole lot of time because there's tons of trainers in these games, and all you have to do is hit the randomize all button, and here you can kind of mess with how you want to randomize the trainers Pokemon. It's up to you how you want to mess with it, but make sure you know what you're doing when you're unclicking and clicking things. But I'm just going to leave it exactly how it is because it's pretty solid like this. It'll make for a great randomizer. So if you like how everything is set, then you can just hit OK, and it'll randomize all the trainers Pokemon. Now, this will take some time. Of course, I've sped it up for your convenience, but this will take like about 10 minutes because it's randomizing every single trainer and their Pokemon that are on the game. Once it's done, it'll give you a prompt like this, and you can go ahead and click OK and exit the trainer randomizer. Now, these are the two things that you can randomize to make a randomizer. However, you can also change a couple of things that I'm going to go through quickly with you guys. So item stats, you can change what each item does, but you can't randomize the items. Like if you pick up an item and it's supposed to be a potion, you can't randomize that. Unfortunately, you just can't do that with PK3DS at this moment in time. If you want to do like a supreme randomizer, you could randomize the moves. But that's completely up to you. I'm not really a fan of that. I just want to have a regular randomizer. However, you can also change the title screen, which if you know what you're doing, you can do that, but you don't have to. You can also change the typing. If you're doing like an ultimate randomizer, then you can change the typing by like moving around the things. As you can see, green is like super effective, red is whatever. When you click on the titles, you can change them. But that's up to you if you really want to go that far and do that. However, I wouldn't recommend it. I just say if you want to play it safe, just randomize the wild encounters and randomize the trainer Pokemon, although you can do more with this PK3DS application if you know what you're doing. However, I would recommend just doing the wild encounters and trainers to play it safe. So once you're done doing all of that, you're going to want to go and click on File, although clearly I'm still messing around with stuff, which I shouldn't be, but once you're done, you're going to go into Tools, and you're going to go into where I go here, and you're going to rebuild the ROM FS, and then hit yes. Now, you want to name this file exactly what the last 8 digits of the folder that was placed on your SD card was named. So you're going to go into your SD card, and then that folder that was newly added onto your SD card after we dumped the game into it with brain dump. Remember that it was a random letters and numbers. You want to take the last 8 digits of that folder, and that is what you want to name your randomizer. This is extremely crucial because if you do not name it exactly right, this will not work. So make sure you name it those last 8 digits. I'll also have it linked in the description below because all Omega Rubies will be named the same thing. All Alpha Sapphires will be named the same thing. All X and Ys will be named the same thing. No matter what game you have or where your region is from, I'll have that in the description just in case you need it. But the easiest way would just be to copy the last 8 digits from that folder that's in your SD card and make sure to actually capitalize the letter. For example, you can see here that I didn't capitalize the C. This was an error I made when I was recording, but I fixed it later. And of course, you also need to name it whatever the last 8 digits was, and then period ROM FS. Make sure that it's named exactly like that. If it's Omega Ruby, this is how yours should look. If it's another game, then it may be a little different. I'll have it in the description for you in case you need it, but it'll be the last 8 digits of that folder that was put in your SD card, period ROM FS. So once you hit save, it'll say it's done, and it saved it into that randomizer folder or whatever the folder you named on your desktop was. And then you can go ahead and exit PK3DS, and from this point on I'm going to show you how to get ROM hacks, but if you're just doing the randomizer, then skip ahead to where it says on screen to continue. Okay, so now we're going to learn how to get a randomizer, a ROM hack for Neo X or Y. To begin, you're going to make a new folder, and you can name it ROM hack or whatever you want for your convenience. And you're going to get the ROM FS folder that's on your SD card from the folder that had all those weird numbers and letters, and copy it onto that folder, which of course will take some time because it's a pretty hefty file. Now, once that's done, you're going to go into the ROM hack starter pack that is in your downloads, and then you're going to go into pack hack, the folder there, and then you're going to find the ROM FX extractor. So you're going to go ahead and open that program. It'll ask you to run or extract all. I recommend that you hit extract all so you do not run into any problems. Now, it probably won't ask you to replace the files. I've already done this, so that's why it asked me to replace the files in the destination, but that does not matter. This process will take some time, about 1 minute to 2 minutes, depending on your computer, but once it's done, it'll take you right back into the ROM hack starter pack folder. Open that ROM hack starter pack folder, go into the pack hack folder, and then try to reopen the ROM FS extractor. Now, once that's open, you're going to click on run, and then you're just going to click open. And then you're going to find your ROM FS file that you have in your desktop now, because we moved it to the desktop into this ROM hack folder, and you're going to go ahead and open that. So click on that ROM FS folder, and then you're going to hit open. Now, once you hit open, it's going to go through an extremely long process of extracting your actual ROM FS file there. Of course, I've sped it up for your convenience, but this will take some time, about 5 to 10 minutes. So just wait, and once it's done, you'll get a screen like this, and it'll say that it extracted the folder into the same folder that the ROM FS file was in, which in our case was the ROM hack folder on our desktop. So you can go ahead and open that ROM hack folder after exiting the ROM FS extractor, and you'll see that you now have a ROM FS underscore folder. You actually want to rename this folder by right clicking and hitting rename and deleting the underscore, so it's just called ROM FS. Now, once you've done that, we need to download the Neo X and Y ROM hacks from the internet. So go ahead and go to your favorite web browser and paste in the URL the link that I have in the description for Pokemon Neo X and Y. Now, once you get to the Neo X and Y website, it's actually a forum post, and you can read all about the actual ROM hacks, like what has changed in them for those that don't know about these pretty awesome 6th gen ROM hacks, Neo X and Y. So as you can see, it's a ROM post. There's a full and light version of Neo X and Y, and you can read the differences between them on this forum post as well. However, to actually download the games, you want to head back to the top of the forum post, and that is where the download link will be. So you can just head to the top of the forum post, and you want to download the file that says download, and this will come with Neo X and the Neo Y patch, so you don't have to worry about downloading the right or wrong one for your game. It's just one big folder that has everything you need. So once you hit download, it's going to be a MediaFire folder, so go ahead and click on download. Now, of course, this download will take some time depending on your internet speed, as it's fairly big, nothing too big. So once you hit download, it will begin to download, and of course I've sped it up just for the convenience of this video. And when it's done, you'll actually need a program called WinRAR to extract this, because it is a .rar file or .7z file, I believe. So if you do not have WinRAR, check the description for a download link for that, so that you can actually extract this file that we just downloaded for Neo X and Y. So once it's done downloading and you have WinRAR, go to downloads, and then you want to right click on the file we just downloaded, and you want to click on extract to Pokemon Neo X and Y so that it puts everything neatly in a folder in downloads. Once it's done, you'll have a folder in your downloads. As you can see, mine is all the way at the bottom, and you're going to go ahead and open on this. You're going to open the next folder. Then you're going to open the folders that I opened specifically so that you can get to the right spot. So make sure you follow what I'm doing on screen. Once you do that, you're going to go into the data folder, and then you're going to see that there's a full and light version folder. So if you want to get the full version, you're going to open the full folder, and then you're going to drag the ROM-FS file into your ROM hack folder that we put on our desktop, and it'll say, would you like to replace the files? And you're going to hit replace, and it's the same exact process if you want to use the light version instead. So whichever you choose, it'll be the same exact thing that I just did. So once you've done that, you're going to go back into the ROM hack starter pack folder, go into the pack hack folder, and now you're going to open the ROM-FS builder and run that application. Now it's almost the same as the extractor, except this is the builder. So you're going to hit open, and then you're going to look for your ROM hack folder that we just made, and you're going to click on the ROM hack folder, and then you're going to click on the ROM-FS folder that is in the ROM hack folder. Make sure you click on the ROM-FS folder that is in the ROM hack folder and hit go, as it will begin to build your new patched Pokemon Neo X or Neo Y, whatever the case is for you. So once it's done, you'll get a screen like this, and what you want to name the file has to be exactly what the last 8 digits of the string of letters and numbers that you have on your SD card that originally had the ROM-FS file. So you want to copy the last 8 digits and make sure to capitalize any letters that are in there. I'll have it linked in the description below what you have to name it, whether you have Pokemon X or Y, because it's the same for Pokemon Y and it's different for Pokemon X. So you're going to name it the last 8 digits. I'll have it linked in the description just in case you're not exactly sure. Make sure to capitalize any letters that are in the name. This is extremely important. And finally, once you paste in those last 8 digits, you're going to end it off with .ROM-FS. And once you have that, you can go ahead and save it into that same ROM hack folder that we've been working with this whole time, and then just hit save. And it'll begin to save your file. This again will take some time depending how long it takes. Actually, it doesn't depend on your internet, it takes some time, so just be patient. And when it's done, it'll have a prompt like this, and it'll say that it's finished, and it put it in where you wanted to put it. Click OK. You can exit the ROM-FS builder, and from this point on, this is going to be exactly the same thing whether you did a randomizer or ROM hack. And you'll need to download a file from the internet that's a hex editor. I'll have a link to this site in the description below, so just paste that into your favorite web browser, and upon arriving at the site, you're going to click download now, and it'll take you to another site. However, your download should begin automatically. If it does not, then click on the restart download link that you see at the upper site, and it'll begin to download this zip file that is for the hex editor. Now once it's done, you can go ahead and exit out of your web browser and open this hex editor that is in your download. So once it's done, exit out of there, go to your downloads, find the zip file that it downloaded, extract the zip file by right clicking it and extracting, and then once that's done, it'll give you a setup to actually download the hex application. Now once this is all done, go ahead and click on the setup, and it'll take you through the setup process of actually getting this application on your computer. So just follow the steps as I am doing here. Doesn't matter if you check or uncheck the check marks, it was just my personal preference, but it's completely up to you. And once you're done installing that hex editor application, you're going to go into your either randomizer folder or your ROM hack folder, and you're going to go to the ROM-FS file that we named with the random letters and numbers, and you're going to right click and hit open with. And then you're going to click on more options or whatever it gives you. You want to try to find the hex editor application that we just downloaded. So I'm on Windows 10. It may be different depending on your Windows version, but if you're on Windows 10, then you're just going to scroll down and look for the hex editor application. If it doesn't happen to be there for you, then just scroll all the way to the bottom of the list and then it'll say look for more applications, and it'll take you to your applications folder. However, I kind of did this a weird way. You don't have to right click and hit open with. You can just open the hex editor application and then click file open and locate the file that you want to open that's in your randomizer or ROM hack folder. However, if you choose to do it my way, then you just have to click the hex editor application that I'm doing here and hit open, and it'll give you this file here. Now what you want to pay attention to is the left hand side. As you can see, it's like a ton of zeros and then it ends with 3 strings of number. You want to get to the bottom line where it says FF0, as you can see right here, and you want to highlight the FF0 line and then highlight everything above it by just simply moving your mouse up. So as you can see, I'm highlighting everything from FF0 and up all the way to the top, which is about 100 lines. And you just want to right click and hit delete, or simply hit the delete key on your keyboard, and it'll say, are you sure you want to delete it? Click OK, it's completely fine. This is part of the tutorial. And once it does that, you can just hit the little save button at the top left hand corner, and it'll begin to save your ROM-FS folder file. And this will take some time. I sped it up for your convenience, so just patiently wait for it to finish, and you'll see that you now have a .romfs file and a romfs.back file. The back file doesn't really matter, but you want to get that .romfs file that we just finished and drag it into your SD card. Now, once you drag it into your SD card, it will take some time to actually download. Make sure you have space on your SD card. I failed to mention this earlier in the tutorial, which is my fault, but you will need to have a lot of space on your SD card. So once that file is in your SD card, you want to make a new folder on the root of your SD card called Hans. Make sure the H is lowercase. I capitalized it, and that was my mistake as I was recording, but I fixed it later on. And then you want to drag your file from the SD card into that Hans folder that is in the root of your SD card. And once that's done, you can delete this folder here that we got at the beginning of the tutorial. You actually could have deleted it earlier. If you needed space, then you can do that to get some more space. But as you can see, we now have that ROM-FS file in the Hans folder in our 3DS SD card. So put your 3DS SD card back into your 3DS and launch your homebrew, and then click on Hans and launch your Pokemon Omega Ruby, Alpha Sapphire, X or Y, whatever it is, the one that you're using. And it'll take you to a screen like this. Now you want to make sure that region and language is stuck on the hyphens, just like so. And then you want to turn on ROM-FS to yes and hit OK. And just like that, it'll take like 10 to 30 seconds to actually load your game. If it stays black the whole time and never loads anything, like after 2 minutes, then you did something wrong. And that's the only way that I can say it, to be honest. You need to make sure that you follow every single step that I do in this tutorial exactly as I do to get your either Neo Pokemon X and Y ROM hack or your randomized Omega Ruby, Alpha Sapphire, or X and Y. If you have any questions, definitely make sure to leave them in the comment section below. I'll try my best to help you. However, if you follow this tutorial exactly as I do, making sure to follow everything I do on the screen, then you should be able to get your randomized Omega Ruby, Alpha Sapphire, X or Y, or your Neo X and Y ROM hack just fine, just as I have done on my own 3DS, as you can see here. Hopefully, you guys found this tutorial easy and clear to follow, and you now have your Neo X and Y or Omega Ruby, Alpha Sapphire, X or Y randomizers on your Nintendo 3DS, and I hope that you guys will have fun with this. If you enjoyed this tutorial, if you found it helpful, then please hit that like button, as it's greatly appreciated, as well as subscribe if you're new, because I make awesome tutorials like this one every week. And as always, thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing, and welcome to the operation.